Richard and Bill. You change tires.
And a car has just spun here in the tri-oval. That is the number 64 of Tommy Gale, the Senny King Ford Honda Ford. It made contact with the outer wall and has stopped in the infield just shy of the start-finish line. So our 10th caution period of the race. And this is what happened as he lost it coming out of turn 4.
Tommy fighting to regain control, but the front wheels not responding to his hacking and sawing on the steering wheel. Apparently the tie rod breaking when he made contact coming out of turn number 4. Remember, we told you, coming out of the second turn and out of the fourth turn, the track flattens out and you got to be right on your toes every minute of the day. Tommy has been out there most of the afternoon. He was behind the pit wall for a while earlier, but been running around 15th position. A guy who enters every race in the trail along with Elmo Langley. Tommy wanted to retire before the 1983 season started, but Elmo went out and bought a brand new 1983 Ford Thunderbird. This, of course, is the 82 car, but bought a brand new one and convinced Tommy to keep making that trek every week down from Pittsburgh in his trucking office down here to the Southland and go Grand National stock car racing.
Tommy pits on the backstretch, and now you talk about sprint races. We are going to have one because we're on lap 477 right now. The yellow is going to be out for a few laps, and I would say we're probably going to have about a 10-lap trophy dash to the finish of this thing. Will it be Petty? Will it be Elliott? Will it be Waltrip or somebody else? Stay with us. The situation is, as ESPN continues to bring you live coverage of the Carolina 500, the Darrell Waltrip fans are on their feet, either cheering or booing, depending upon how they feel about Darrell. During this caution period, Waltrip came in for a pit stop. It was a late one. He got back to the tail end of the field, but passed 2 cars before the green came out, so he was black flagged, and that was his black flag stop. Now he's able to go back out there and run in competition. So Darrell Waltrip, it looks like, has just given up 3rd place.
Now, Waltrip has a shot at 3rd place. It depends on how they place Lake Speed. We got 10 laps to go. Here's quickly a rundown of the people who have survived this contest up to now. Ricky Rudd, Tim Richmond, they're both about 2 laps down. Ron Bouchard still out there. Bobby Wawak, Harry Ganna's on the racetrack. Mark Martin, Bobby Allison, Ronnie Hopkins, Sterling Martin, Dick Brooks, Kyle Petty, Jimmy Means, and D.K. Ulrich still on the racetrack.
Here is Dick Bergeron.
I just talked to Richard Petty's crew chief, and I asked him, did your car have enough stuff to win this thing? And he said, I hope so, I hope so. Richard Petty's pit right now is a very animated place. Everyone is checking stopwatches, looking at their lap charts, and crossing their fingers, too. It's been a 1.5 years since Richard Petty has won a race. They would desperately like to win this one.
Richard Petty is the leader right now. Bill Elliott second. The 3rd car in the screen there in the race is Bobby Allison, but he is not on the lead lap. In fact, is not in the top 5. So it's basically a 2-car race. We have 8 laps to go, less than 8 laps to go now. At the end of 410 laps, make that 480 laps, the average speed of the race was 112.726 miles an hour. Richard Petty and Bill Elliott, a driver looking for another victory, while Bill Elliott is looking for his first victory in Grand National competition.
With Petty's experience, it's unlikely that Elliott is going to be able to gather up enough steam to pass on the high side. He'll probably have to catch him low. One of the best places to pass on this racetrack is right there, drop down low, coming out of the fourth turn. When you get to the flat spot of the tri-oval, the track is quite wide there, and it gives you a lot of room to maneuver. Plus, you can race down into turn number 1, and if you play it just right, you can lean on the banking. But if you don't play it just right and lean on the banking too hard, like Neil Bonnet did about 30 laps ago, you'll wipe out. So will it be Elliott trying to get underneath Petty? Will he hope for a mistake and maybe sneak by on the high side? I suggest that Richard is probably going to be close to perfect here in the final 6-7 laps of this race.
All right, we'll continue to watch the leaders. You mentioned Neil Bonnet, and he has just now pulled that car behind the wall, so Neil Bonnet is out of the race. The situation is Richard Petty and Bill Elliott are right together on the racetrack with less than 5 laps to go now. Here they are on turn number 4, headed for the tri-oval. This completes lap number 488. 488 laps completed. Richard Petty and Bill Elliott are running 1 and 2. 3rd place belongs now to, still shown as Darrell Waltrip, and then Lake Speed is in fourth. Fifth position belongs to Harry Gant, who has had a long afternoon.
Bill Elliott first surfaced in 1976 when he entered 8 races. He looks down the low side, coming to the tri-oval.
Now let's see what happens as they go into the first turn. It looks like that Richard Petty will be able to out-horsepower him into the first turn, but Elliott is not letting him get away. It looks like Bill is going to try it to the inside as they go down the backstretch. Unable to get the job done. 3 laps to go now. Let's see what happens in the third and fourth turns. Bill Elliott from Dawsonville, Georgia, looking for his first win onto the tri-oval. Still, Richard Petty leads the way as we have 2 laps to go.
You can see how close Petty is hugging the inside rail. He's like a thoroughbred going around Churchill Downs, right down on the bottom of the inside rail, as low as you can go on this racetrack and still use the banking. Elliott has almost got to make a move coming out of the fourth turn this time. He almost has to do something this time around.
The white flag will be coming out as Harold Kenders shows the white flag to Bill Elliott and Richard Petty. This is the final lap at Rockingham, less than a mile to go. Richard Petty is the leader. Bill Elliott right behind him. They're out of the second turn now down the backstretch. Bill Elliott is going to have to make his move. There is a lot of traffic ahead of them as they go into the third and fourth turns now. Here they come toward the fourth turn and the start-finish line coming up. Bill Elliott will make one desperate attempt as he goes to the inside. Richard Petty holds him off, and Richard Petty picks up a victory at Rockingham, North Carolina Motor Speedway, his first since 1981, and the crowd celebrates with King Richard. It's been a long time since he was in victory lane, and ESPN has brought you his victory live this afternoon. Bill Elliott finishes in second place, and a great great second place for him, and that is Richard Petty's 196th win.
And for Elliott, an ascension to the top of the point standings. Bill Elliott turns in yet another strong performance in 1983. We know that Bill, Ernie, and Dan, we know you guys are disappointed, but boy, I tell you, if you look at an award for the most improved driver and team over the past 3 seasons, you've got to just about give it to Bill Elliott.
And I'll tell you, the 37,000 fans gathered here, despite the fact that perhaps Richard wasn't their favorite going into this race, they are all celebrating with him and congratulating the king of NASCAR stock car racing, Richard Petty, for a win here this afternoon.
And wins at Rockingham do not come easy. We saw that replayed several times here today. Richard Petty, who has been knocking at the door, really, of victory lane for quite some time. He had 5 second-place finishes, after all, in 1982, and finally he comes home here first in mid-April of 1983. You can see the battle scars on the left of the inside side of the Richard Petty number 43 car as it pulls into victory lane. Richard Petty, who is rapidly closing in on the $5 million plateau. He'll be the first race driver, of course, to ever do that. His career winnings, #1, obviously, in all of NASCAR racing. $4.9 million when the year began. And even though he didn't win any races last year, he was third on the money winnings list then at better than $453,000. So Petty, who has been around since 1959, who has won more than a handful of Daytona 500s, more than a handful of national championships, is finally back in victory lane.
Well, we talk about how he didn't have a real successful year last year, but as you mentioned, he did win a lot of money and finished well in the point standings. Let's go down to Dick Berggren for the victory celebration.
Well, welcome back to victory lane, Richard Petty. This has to be a great moment for you.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but, you know, we're running good today. We've got a lot of good breaks. A couple of them crashed there, a couple of them blowed, and I had all my hands full with Bill there right at last because, you know, he ran pretty good too. So it was just a good day for us. Everything worked just right. Yeah, but around last weekend today, I guess.
But you had your car really running very well too, did you not?
Yeah, we was very satisfied with the car. Some of them boys could outrun us, but they just get out so far, and then after the tires got heated up, we could come back on them a little bit. But, you know, it'd have been a little bit different. Everybody stayed in there, but we're just fortunate that we stayed in, didn't have no trouble, and won the race.
Could you feel the heat of Bill Elliott on your back bumper toward the end of the race?
But I guarantee you I did. I'm glad he ain't got any more experience. He'd have been a lot tougher, I'll tell you that.
And you were very close with the Bodine crash too, weren't you, Richard?
See what?
You were also close with the Jeff Bodine incident.
Yeah, we was real fortunate. We was back far enough on that, and then also when the other 2 boys crashed there, you know what I mean? That you know, we was back far enough on that. I want to say my brother's at home with us recuperating. worked on his foot, and I want to say hey to him and tell him we can still do the dadgum job.
You must be very happy. Your emotions at this moment?
Well, you know, I'm happy. You know, I mean, what can I say? It's been 43 races since I won one, so, you know, we're really
42 races, number 43 is back in victory lane again.
Thank you.
So that's the situation as Richard Petty celebrates the victory here at Rockingham, North Carolina.